Guys, I'm going to talk about this Oasis reunion, this Oasis get together. First of all, I think it's going to be a security risk, and I think there's going to be huge problems there, but that's not what I want to focus on today. I want to focus on the nostalgia. And I listened to Live Forever the other day with my friend Rob, and it was, I've known it. We grew up on the same council estate together, and it was difficult to listen to. And we just started talking about a time when things were just so much better. Now, those songs, they were like the soundtrack to your life if you grew up in the 90s, and they remind you of a time when you could go out with your mates to like the park, you could go to the shops. You didn't have the worries that you have today, like knife crime, gang violence. You wasn't scared to go out and go drinking round the pub or whatever it was. You could go out, and honestly, we used to go out. We laugh about it. We had no money. We didn't have a penny between us. We would be using credit cards to pay for credit cards, and then we would get like 50 quid to take us both out for a night round town, and you'd get your taxi, you'd get your drinks, and and then you'd be looking at what change you have in your pockets for a kebab on the way home. It was just a better time, and there was no internet. There was none of this, and I've done videos about this before when I've talked about young boys at the moment. They're seeing these images online about these guys who are like really strong and they've got really pumped up muscles. And guys, I will say it, a lot of these images, they have extracurricular supplements, shall we say. And we've done this to ourselves. We've done this to ourselves by always wanting something better, by paying attention to what other people think, by worrying about what people think about us. Back in the 90s, nobody cared. You used to go out, drinking in a tracksuit with whatever in your hair. Nobody cared, guys. It was just a better time. I feel sorry for kids who are growing up now, because you will never have that, guys. You will never have that again. And I've talked about this, guys, I'm pretty confident I'm the only person who's talking about it. This generation of young men that are growing up now. We've got a generation of young men that are going to have to be supported by a generation of young women. And those young men who are probably at secondary school now and younger. So like if you're in the last, if you just left, I'm going to discount you. If you're going back to school in September and you're going to be in the 5th year or whatever year it is when you leave, you are going to have to rebuild this country, because my generation, guys, we had it too easy. We have broken society, and that, and I didn't break it. I was one of the people who were saying, look, we can't allow this to happen. We need to look after our values. We need to look after our culture. And then we're getting, I'm being bombarded by liberals calling me names and stuff. But what's happening now, and I'm seeing it, the same people who were criticizing me years ago for my views, my opinions, they're now becoming more extreme than me. And I'm having to dial things back. I'm saying, dude, you can't say that. And they're saying, oh, I don't care anymore. It's ridiculous. I'm saying, dude, like, you literally can't say that. That's insane. So what you're having now is you're having a total reversal of society. You're getting people who were, sat on the fence, who were like, oh, this is fine, to saying some really dark things, and I'm not going to repeat them, and that's the way we're heading, guys. All right. And it's just, I hope this Oasis concert can unite people and can give some, because I do think the time it's come, it's a lot bigger than what we're thinking at the moment. People are just wanting to get tickets, but I don't think people understand the enormity of where Britain is going to be when this concert happens. And again, it's going to be a massive security challenge as well for the security services. But people, and the young kids are never going to have that time. They're never going to have the 90s. They're never going to have the 90s music. They're never going to have, because I think it's one of the, I've only just started listening to him. I think he's really funny. I don't know which one it is, one of the brothers, but he's really funny. And he's talking about how there's no rock stars anymore. And I thought, wow, there isn't any rock stars. You guys, you know me, I'm more Iron Maiden than Oasis, but I still appreciate them. You know, they are rock stars. Now, what does this lead to? Well, like I said, I hope it can lead into a resurgence of Britishness and people from all walks of life, guys. It doesn't matter what colour you are, what background you are. If you subscribe to to British culture and the British way of life, that's fine. The problem is when you don't subscribe to British culture, where you leave your country because you don't like it, and you try and make this country your country that you left because you didn't like it. So if you try, you know where I'm going, guys. It's just wild. But anyway, so we do, guys. We have this generation of young men that are growing up now. So I'm going to say if you're 14 or 15 years old, whichever way whichever way it is, if you're basically going back to school and you're going to be in the 5th year when you go back, you are going to be the first generation that has to rebuild this country. Because, guys, what's coming is going to be absolutely catastrophic. And for you guys, you're going to have to be strong. You're going to have to accept that you're not going to have these times anymore. You're not going to have what we had. And, you know, that's my generation's fault. We were weak and we let people walk all over us. And you guys are going to have to be the strong ones who rebuild this country. And you're going to have to rebuild it by being smarter, by being, you know, having more self-respect for yourselves and not letting people take what is yours. Guys, that is it. I just wanted to do a short video on this Oasis concert because it was really nostalgic when I was listening to this with my friend the other day. And like I said, we was just remembering a better time. And it was, you know, it was just better. And kids now are never going to have that, guys. And I can only apologize. Anyway, guys, that's it. I'm going to mag to grid. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. You know, am I wrong about this, or am I right? I think I'm right. Obviously, I wouldn't be doing a video, but maybe I'm way off the mark with this. Maybe next year's going to come, this Oasis concert's going to come out, and nobody's going to go and nobody's going to like it because nobody wants British values anymore. I don't know. But what I do see, I think this could be a lot bigger as a resurgence for Britain than people are actually thinking at the moment. Because when people start to listen to those songs and they start to have those memories and nostalgia, you know, and they start to think about what a state we've let our country slide into, I think people are going to rise up. And by rise up, I don't mean rise up in a violent way. I think people are just going to come together and say, do you know what? We want this back again, and we're going to go and take it back. Anyway, guys, that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think. I'm going to mag to grid, and I'll see you guys later.